Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. By Pepsi, official soft drink partner of the Panthers and all for the Carolinas. By Bojangles, your official tailgating headquarters and iced tea of the Carolina Panthers. It's Bo time. And by Miller Lite. As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
The only man who is a member of both the North and South Carolina Business and Athletic Halls of Fame, Jerry Richardson, the 80-year-old owner and the founder of this incredible franchise. The Carolina Panthers playing here at home, Bank of America Stadium, in this awesome patch of real estate in uptown Charlotte. Tonight, Bill Belichick, 4 Super Bowl crowns, 13 divisional titles, 5th all-time in career wins. He brings his 2-0 in the preseason New England Patriots to face Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Somewhere in that scrum is Ron Rivera, 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. Ought to be a great matchup. Mick Mixon with Mike Rucker. You ready, partner?
I'm ready, buddy.
3rd preseason game, the game that the starters will play on into the 3rd quarter to get lathered up, see how they deal with halftime adjustments. We got Kevin Donnelly on the sideline. We'll get an update from KD in just a couple of minutes. Stephen Gostkowski to kick off, NFL scoring leader for 4 consecutive years. And on behalf of all of us on the crew and the entire Carolina Panther organization, we're delighted to have you dialed our way tonight from uptown Charlotte. Teams are doing this, kicking off higher because of the new rule, to the 10, the 15, out across the 20 to about the 23. Fozzie Whitaker on the return. Kevin Donnelly is patrolling the sidelines for us tonight, former Carolina Panther offensive lineman. Kevin.
Yeah, well, Greg Olsen will not be playing tonight when the team takes the field. He'll be on the sidelines watching. Now, this is a guy that's had 142 consecutive regular season games started. This is going to be his 2nd preseason game that he's going to miss. So what's that mean? There's going to be some opportunities for a lot of players out there tonight that normally wouldn't have gotten them. Ed Dixon, Scott Simonson, Bo Sandlin, guys like them are going to be able to get lots of touches from Cam Newton with meaningful minutes. Back to you guys.
Opportunities tonight for tight ends as well with, as Kevin said, Greg Olsen down. Newton with options, slings it over the middle, just a little bit behind Benjamin. 2nd down and 10 for Carolina. Your starting lineups tonight are brought to you by Miller Lite. Panther backs and receivers. Scott Simonson getting the start at tight end tonight. Not sure how much we'll see the 28. Jay Stu, Jonathan Stewart. Offensive line is a good one, very solid. Returns all 5 starters from last year's Super Bowl trip. And Cam Newton redefining the way the position of NFL quarterback is played. Tight splits and a running play. Stewart tries to bend it back to the near sideline for short yardage. 3rd down and about 8. Upcoming, the New England Patriot defense. Long starting tonight in place of Rob Ninkovich, who's got a tricep. Collins, a Pro Bowler from a year ago, 5 forced fumbles to lead the NFL last year. And Malcolm Butler, the hero of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Pro Bowl season last year. 3rd down and 9. Bunch trips right. Newton calculated. Good protection. Fastball near sideline, just off the hands of Devin Funchess. Oh, Newton had plenty of time there.
Well, the first 2 pass plays, it seemed like it was just 7-on-7. He was back there. He didn't even have to move and was very comfortable. Guys that weren't open and weren't able to get the ball downfield. But so far, this offensive line has given him some time to throw the ball.
Cyrus Jones checks in to track this Casey Redfern punt. Shortish and fair caught. 36-yard punt and no return. We have a penalty flag on the play, and the kicker was interfered with.
You'll see right here coming to the left of your screen, right in there. Yep, he actually got that leg, and you know the kickers they take acting classes too, but that was
running into the kicker. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 4th down.
So Mike Cyphers, the punter, he's number 5. Casey Redfern, number 6 for the Panthers. Carolina still looking to find who's going to be the answer to the punter question this year. Cyphers, the former Charger, had a great career, but has been battling a sports hernia, Ruck, and getting interfered with, run into is not going to help that at all.
Yeah, well, they're both, you see the competition, but, you know, part of the problem is this offense, the first 2 preseason games have been so active and taking the ball down the field that they haven't gotten a lot of work. So, you know, the coaching staff wants to see this competition and see somebody take the reins and get out front.
Top of your screen, Pats will double one of the gunners. Cyphers. Shaky drop and a poor punt. Out of bounds just on the New England side of midfield. So the New England Patriots. Edelman, Amendola, Lewis, Blunt, and Gronk. Gronk does not play in the preseason, by the way. Hadn't done that since 2012. A lot of changes along the New England offensive line. You got Stork, been traded. Cooper, Vollmer out with injuries tonight. And at quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo with Tyler Gaffney in the backfield. 1st and 10 from midfield. Play pass and a slant caught near side by Hogan. Good yardage to the Panther 32, a gain of 18.
Well, the defense has started out fast here. It's like a broken coverage. Someone left open right there for a big gain by the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to be a big test for this Carolina defense because they can throw the ball. They're very good and efficient at that, so it's going to be a good test.
Garoppolo, Ruck, is the NFL's preseason game passing leader so far. Handoff sweep, and it's open. Gaffney trucking left. And it's a 1st down rushing for the visitors.
Well, the thing about the New England Patriots, they're going to give you a lot of different looks, a lot of different formations, so you have to play your keys and to be able to play and beat this football club. The outside corner gets given up, and you lose security on the edge, and it allows a big run for the New England Patriots. They were able to get the big fellas out front.
Gaffney's authored a 44-yard touchdown scamper. That was against the Saints week 1 of the preseason. Screen, left side, complete to White, and then the Panthers stone it right at the line of scrimmage.
Thomas Davis just made a great play. This is a screen play, but he was able to just shed that blocker and get it on the tackle. They had a hat on the hat, but that was just Imano, and Thomas Davis wanting it more than the other guy.
Patriots, like the Panthers, mix in the no huddle, try to keep you off rhythm and off stride. This offense can morph into whatever it needs to be. They can run it 50 times a game or pass it 50 times a game. Hogan racked up at the 12 by Bradbury and others. 6-yard gain, 3rd down upcoming.
You see the replay right here. Just a quick throw, but I like Bradbury and the way that he comes up and tackle. He's a rookie. The defense is starting 2 rookies, and he's one of them. But I like the way that he comes up and he plays the edge and he can tackle. He talked about it last week that he can play coverage, but he can also tackle.
2-by-2 set, White in the backfield, Hogan the motion man from right to left. Oh, and almost intercepted. Garoppolo threw it up for grabs. And I think it was Luke Kuechly that could not hang on.
And you don't surprise him very often. He's got a lot of interceptions right here. Garoppolo doesn't see Kuechly drop in the zone, and Kuechly thought that he just missed that pick, and I know he's kind of kicking himself, but he's pretty good at catching that ball.
30-yard field goal attempt. Allen to hold it for Gostkowski. Gostkowski over 87% career, 3rd most accurate in NFL history, and he missed it.
Field goal is no good. Ball is 15 seconds.
mark that down. Gostkowski almost never misses a chip shot. So we'll go to break, come right back with more Carolina Panther football from Bank of America Stadium after you watch this. Mick Mixon with Mike Rucker, scoreless at Bank of America. Keys to the game are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. What are you working with, Ruck?
Well, the offense for the Panthers is keep the pocket clean. You saw in the first 2 plays already, this offensive line has done a good job of keeping the quarterback clean. You want to see that happen again tonight. For the defense, it's the youngsters to step up. You're starting 2 rookie corners. You're going against 2 very good quarterbacks in the league. So you should be able to get a good test to see where you shape up against these quarterbacks.
Could win a $200,000 top prize and season tickets for the Carolina Panthers for 20 years. The new Panther scratch-off ticket is on sale now. Penalty marker down, so is Jonathan Stewart.
Holding, number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Left tackle, Michael Orr.
Jonathan Stewart right here. Nice move right here, but you see Orr get on the backside of that tackle. Anytime that you're on the backside of somebody, they're going to call that all the time.
Wider line splits. Newton up and out to the right. Complete to Ted Ginn Jr. for short yardage. So the Panthers have had a hard time staying on schedule so far tonight offensively, Ruff.
They have, but what I do like is that they are able to give Cam time. If you're going to give the reigning MVP of the National Football League time like that, the things are going to work out in your favor a lot more times than not. So I like what I see from the offensive line. Now it's just being able to connect with the receivers.
6-yard gain, second down 14. Benjamin was targeted. Not even KB could get up high enough for that one.
Again, time for Cam to be able to throw. He launches this with this strong arm. He doesn't like to throw. I don't know if it sounds like it was a communication thing, but this is what the preseason is for. Kelvin Benjamin was out last year with the ACL, so they're still getting on the same page with each other also.
Tolbert in. Chatting it up with Newton. Got to get organized though. 5 on the play clock. Timeout.
Timeout, Carolina. First team timeout.
That face tells the entire story of the Carolina Panthers start. Back with more Panther football. First this word from your local Panthers station. It's early, but the Panther offense has been like that weed eater that started and ran pretty well last time we had it out, but despite a lot of pulls on the starting rope tonight so far, Ruck, there's no spark. What's going on?
Well, the time is there, but they're not connected, the quarterback to the receiver. But what I like is Coach Rivera is letting these guys work it out on the field before he intervenes.
On third down. Newton climbs the pocket under duress. Sacked.
And this New England defense can get after the quarterback. And you'll see it right here where they'll bring heat with their front guys. Cam has the time. Guys not open downfield. But this New England defense was able to get to Cam Newton.
Loss of 7. Now Casey Redfern will punt. Cyrus Jones, the deep man. Pat should have good field position again. Pressure up the middle. Panthers pick it up. Oh, majestic punt. Rainbow Archer. Jones running sideways. Bad choice. 61-yard punt, 4-yard return. Maybe that's a spark the Panthers are looking for. Good execution on special teams. Let's go down to Kevin Donnelly for our sideline report.
Yeah, the punter, Mike Cyphers, has injured his knee. He's got ice on it, will not return in the game. Apparently injured the knee during that first punt. Casey Redfern in now for him. He'll take over the duties for the rest of the game, guys.
And you have to wonder that shot that he took, if that was something that had to do with that. Because if you remember, the next punt was the one that was a little wobbly.
Jimmy Garoppolo Hands to Tyler Gaffney, the former Panther. He was on the Panthers roster for a short time. Flag in the backfield, back at the 29. The referee tonight, Pete Moreeeee.
Number 11 offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So our Miller Lite starting lineups brought to you by Miller Lite, Carolina Panthers. Very sound up front. That defensive line, one of the best in football. Linebackers, Fortune 500, brand name backers, some of the best in the game. And then the secondary, Coleman and Boston will try to lead Worley, Bradbury, Sanchez, Ben Wickery, and the other younger guns. Panther coach Ron Rivera. Hands on his hips. That could be a tell things are not gone to his liking. Tunnel screen, Hogan. Bracketed and put down. The defensive ends, Ruck, on a screen like that have to kind of retrace your steps, right?
Yeah, you have to retrace your steps going towards the ball, because it's usually when it's on the outside like that, it's a wide receiver screen, and you want to get back out there to affect it. Usually that wide receiver is coming back towards you, and if you can get back there, you can make a nice little hit on that little receiver.
Garoppolo broke all of Tony Romo's, or a lot of his passing records at Eastern Illinois, from a muddy pocket, short of the tight end, A.J. Derby. Luke Kuechly was tracking with him.
Well, the Panthers, they're bringing some heat from their defensive end spots. Been a little bit quiet. You see Horton right there, West getting in there. But Luke Kuechly, he's like a glove in coverage.
He's got savvy, but he also works extremely hard studying film. Pats go slot right on third down and long. Garoppolo. That one goes, might go as a 1-yard run. He got across the line of scrimmage. Thomas Davis touched him down.
Yeah, Mario Addison on the top of your screen will come in, give a little bit of pressure, gets a hand on him, but you can see the speed of Thomas Davis and him not quitting on the play and getting Garoppolo down on the ground. This defense is real stingy on third down.
Definitely D'd up. So Ted Ginn Jr. will have a look at this Ryan Allen punt. Allen's got a live leg. Ginn, like a border collie, changing directions. 53-yard punt, 6-yard return by Ted Ginn. We're scoreless first quarter at Bank of America Stadium.
We're in Charlotte. The score between the Patriots and Panthers 0-0. Cam Newton and the other quarterbacks were all huddled around Ken Dorsey, talking about some things with their routes, with some things going on in the field. They're happy with the protection. Soon after, Cam stood up, walked down all the receivers, gave them pats and said, hey, let's go get this thing. I want to try and get a drive started and get something going for this Panthers team. Guys?
Offense not used to the rhythm of this beat of 1-2-3 kick. 2 straight 3 and outs. Panthers looking for their first down. Tolbert, zigzag motion. Stewart stays in the block, now leaks out. And there's Kelvin Benjamin for the first down with a flag down at the 44. 17-yard pickup.
Pass interference. Number 13 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, Kelvin Benjamin, he's a big guy, and he's a physical guy. And we've seen that last week against the Titans. But you see that left hand right there. That's what they called him on, the push-off pass interference on the offense. A big guy like him, he doesn't necessarily have to push off downfield just because of his body and his presence. And so when he goes back and looks at film tomorrow, he can see that he had the right leverage and he would have been okay without the left hand.
2 receivers stacked just at the bottom of your screen. Person to block for Ted Ginn, and Ginn breaks free. .12-yard gain. on first down.
Man, I mean, 12 yards, and this should have been a tackle for a loss, but this is what Ted Ginn brings to this football club. When he could take one pass last week, he takes a curl for 61 yards, a simple curl. Here he just takes a quick wide receiver screen and makes nothing into something, and a good block by Burson.
Yeah, Burson doing some chicken fighting downfield. Help wall the defender off, give Ginn a little crease. Pat show blitz, Cam Newton will reset. Benjamin, intercepted. Picked off at the 35-yard line by Logan Ryan.
That's a good play by Logan Ryan. You'll see him have the inside coverage on Kelvin Benjamin.
Panthers still looking for their first down. Back with more after a word from your local Panther station. 0-0 at the stadium. Closed captioning is brought to you by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, helping you enjoy the sights and sounds of the National Football League all season long. For more information, visit cinta.com.
You'll see Logan Ryan have the inside track, his eyes on the ball. From our view, it looked like Kelvin Benjamin was going to go over the top like he's done that so many times to get the ball. But this ball just kind of crept into the inside. If Cam can get that to the outside, more to the sideline, gives KB a chance.
See the defensive line subtly adjusting their gaps. Run blitz, but it's a pass play. Dart caught by Dobson, and he skips out of bounds. 12 yards and a first down. That happened in front of Bradbury, the rookie.
Yes, the Panthers are starting two rookies at the corner, and Bradbury's one of them right here. And he's got to trust the sideline. He's got to use the sideline as his friend to help him in this situation. He's going to get tested tonight. They know that they got two rookies out there, and they're going to be tested.
The Pats like to and can throw the football. LeGarrette Blunt jacked up by Trey Boston.
You'll see Trey Boston up here in this 8-man front. They know it's run. As a safety, you got to have your big boy pads, and Blunt is a big running back. So for you to go play inside that sandbox in between those tackles, you bring your pads, and that's what Boston did right there.
The tale of two cities in a way. The Panther defense has played well so far. Offense, not so much. Garoppolo improvising. And will kill the play. That throw has to get in front of the line of scrimmage, and it did. Charles Johnson giving chase. On the Geico scoreboard, some scores from around the league. This happened last night. Miami 56% on third down. They beat Atlanta handily. Atlanta had a hard time scoring. And then Tony Romo got hurt in the Seattle-Dallas game. Dakota Prescott, Dak Prescott,
10-yard penalty.
Playing well for Dallas. Scores brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.
They called intentional grounding. You see the pocket just collapse, and you see Charles Johnson continue to apply the pressure right here. Garoppolo was able to just throw it, but they got him with intentional grounding.
Yeah, I guess he's still in the pocket on that, which would be why that's grounding. Get outside the pocket, can basically throw it anywhere you want to, as long as it crosses the line of scrimmage. So the Patriots back up, and it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd down and 20. Just saw Kurt Coleman there. Coleman signed a 3-year contract extension prior to a training camp. So Pete Morelli, the official, trying to get a couple of things sorted out, maybe a clock issue. So Pete Morelli's trying to figure out what down should it be.
Well, regardless, it's long distance before the first down, and this is where this Panther defensive line has got to be.
Intentional grounding. When it's more than 10 yards, the ball will be placed at the spot of the pass. Ball will be placed where the quarterback threw the ball.
Well, this Panther defensive line has got to have a smile, be really anxious. They got to look for draws and screen when you're third and long like this. Okay, you don't want to give up something where you just need to get off the field on this. But these defensive ends need to create pressure on the quarterback.
You're right. You normally have some heavy screen draw alert right here, but it is the preseason. And Garoppolo's got a big arm. On the top sweep. Wow. Erased. James White eaten up by Luke Kuechly.
I tell you what, he's out there by himself, and all of a sudden you just see this white jersey like a seeking missile. Watch Luke Kuechly in the middle of the screen. He sees what he wants to hit. He doesn't stop and just rides right into the ground.
Kuechly doesn't care if it's the parking lot, the stadium, preseason, or the Super Bowl.
And I tell you what, those guys up front really allow him to run sideline to sideline.
Ted Ginn. Little basket catch. No blockers, but the boundary was his friend. And a flag down back at the 15-yard line. 50-yard punt by Ryan Allen.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 24, the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
So the Panthers looking for their first down of the game when we come back to Bank of America Stadium with the score. Patriots 0, Panthers 0. It's one of our favorite things, hearing from you via the Krispy Kreme sweet tweets. When the Panthers win, you win. The Monday following a Panther victory, you get a dozen original glaze, just $4.99 at Krispy Kreme. So let's see what we got. Falling for Kate at work. No TV, what? Here's Damien with a possible omen that the Panthers might go to the Super Bowl. Right now, Carolina's got to get a first down. Newton and his receivers have not been singing out of the same hymnal so far. Fake run and a completed pass. Funches.
Funch is another one of these young receivers, tall, lanky, but has a body mass that can just shun out the other defensive defender. So, you know, you're looking, you could see that Mike Shula's just trying to get some rhythm going, just trying to get the ball out fast, get it into guys' hands to make some plays.
Favorable down and distance. Stewart to the 41. A gain of 24 yards. Safety Devin McCourty dragged him down.
And these are the kind of plays that you're looking for to get that spark. Give it to one of your all-pro backs, Jonathan Stewart. He just nice cutback right there. Sees it, goes to the open daylight, and then drops his helmet on him.
Cut right off the Dixon block. Newton Dixon, oh, almost caught. And Dixon is waxed by Malcolm Butler. Veteran tight end Ed Dixon.
Yeah, he really reached for it. You can see him right there, really strung out. Well, anytime your arms go above your head and you take a shot like that, first of all, you're going to get the air knocked out of you. Ball just a little bit high for Dixon. You see it?
It looked like a legal hit, a clean hit, just tackle football.
This is part of football. And you got to wonder, did he get the air knocked out of him? He just took a fly right down the numbers. And that ball just sailed on him a little bit. He kind of gives a fist pound. Looks like he's okay running off the field.
The good thing about the air going out of your lungs is it only feels like you're going to die.
Oh, it's a good sign because he plays a big part in this offense. And And to see him take that hit and get off the field like that and walk off is a good sign.
Rugged tight end, the former Raven, Ed Dixon. Might have been able to recatch that had the contact not arrived when it did. No score, 2nd and 10. Another cutback run by Jonathan Stewart. This time he cuts back into contact. Trey Flowers. So here's another look at some of the great tight ends, and the Panthers have two right up on the top in terms of their robust nature, Mike.
You know, this is a physical game, playing football, and you got to be on the field to make plays. And so when you have two of your key tight ends in the top 5 as far as consecutive games, that says something for you.
One setback, Tolbert. Newton getting bouncy. Slices out of bounds at the 49. He'll be just short of the first down. 9-yard run by Cam Newton.
Well, New England Patriots secondary has done a good job on coverage downfield. They're locked up on everybody. Cam has nothing downfield. And Cam has had this run all night, but is reluctant to run. Doesn't really need to run in the preseason, but if you're going to give it to him, he takes it for a good run downfield. Now it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
From the -49, 4th down and 2. Timeout. It will be the Panthers' second.
Timeout was called before the delay of game. Timeout, Carolina. Second team timeout. 30-second timeout.
If you're going to go by the name of Riverboat Ron.
Well, you know, he's the last few years, this has been his MO, and it's really paid out for him. And it keeps the defense off balance because you got to be at attention because you just don't know if they're going to go for it. Here you're at midfield. Obviously, he wants to see something on 4th down and get a spark for this offense. They get this, they can get some momentum.
Would it be accurate to say, Ruck, that so far in this game, Cam Newton, that the ball is sailing on him a little bit, or that wild high throw has returned?
I would say that's correct. He has really worked on that ball, not sailing and getting it down. This first quarter, the ball has been a little bit high, and that's something that they're going to talk to him about. He's got to bring that ball down because there are some guys that are open.
So 4th down, 2 yards to go. Newton buys a little time. Had Burson open, and Burson couldn't make the grab.
New England's defense, they had a spy on Cam this time, not letting him get out to get this first down. Burson gets his hands on it in the perfect position. Great throw by Cam Newton, but Burson wasn't able to hang on to it.
Newton 3 of 9 so far, 27 yards, 1 pick. Let's go to Kevin Donnelly walking up and down this Panther sideline. Kevin.
Yeah, you know, Ron Rivera spoke this week about situational football in the preseason, wanting to get these guys ready for a variety of situations. 4th and 2 for the offense, trying to get the first down. Now what we're going to see is the defense with a quick change, having to go on the field after not getting the first down and seeing how they react. Back to you.
Split in left, split in right. Tom Brady in at quarterback, and he throws a strike to Aaron Dobson, who takes it inside the 15-yard line before Luke Kuechly can end the play.
Well, we talked about at the top of the game that the rookie cornerbacks are going to get a good test and a good look at a future Hall of Famer right there, going at Bradbury right off the bat. The thing about Tom Brady, he is going to be on point with his passes. They're not going to be sailing. They're not going to be at your feet. They're going to be on point.
37 yards. Brady to Dobson. Brady again, standing firm and tall in the pocket. And that pass intended for Edelman is broken up.
And Shaq Thompson, he's a linebacker, but they have found that he's had such a good offseason that they have been able to put him and match him up with the slot position.
CPI security system. New England's offense in the red zone excellent, and they went into the red zone. They had more red zone possessions than all but 2 teams. Carolina, one of those teams. Blunt up inside, stuffed by Kuechly after about 4 yards.
And pretty good right here at the point of attack. You see everybody got a hat on a hat, getting off blocks. You got a big running back like that and Blunt, you have to rally. It's not a one-man tackling machine. You got to bring the whole party to it.
Blunt out, right in. 3rd down 5 from the 7-yard line in a scoreless game. Late first quarter. Short drop Brady. Touch pass, end zone, incomplete of Martellus Bennett.
When you get down here in the red zone, Tom Brady likes his tight ends. Gronk's not playing tonight, but here's another addition to this offense. Just going right outside the fingertips of the big guy. You see Bennett right there. Gets a good look at that. They're right off the fingertips.
Gostkowski has missed from 30. This will be from 25 yards. And it's good. So Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots take a 3-0 lead over the Carolina Panthers. So what is it about the Panther offense so far, and have we not been giving the Patriot defense enough credit perhaps?
Well, I think that this is a very good Patriots defense. I think that they get after the quarterback, and the secondary has played good. I think that the offensive line for the Panthers are given the time, but when like we talked about, there's been opportunities that Cam could take off running, but I feel like why take that risk unless it's just wide open? You saw him take the run earlier, but he wants to stay in the pocket and throw the ball downfield.
Wager and Whitaker drop back. Whitaker on the right. That's Gostkowski. He's good. Newton likes to stay loose. I mean, he just almost never, well, I say never. Sometimes he'll sit on the bench and put the towel over his head. But in a game like this, when he has not been sharp, he can't wait to get back out there. Deeper kickoff this time. Whitaker will kneel it down. You know, Ruck, a lot of teams are taking the kickoffs to inside the 10, trying to encourage a run back. So here's what Cam Newton has done so far today.
He's got a live arm just off a little bit like we talked about earlier. Some of the balls selling a little high. Maybe the wrong route right there. A sack early. Interception right here. I think what Mike Shula needs to look at is maybe going to some more slants, some screens, just to get Cam settled down, to get that ball out of his hands, some short yards, just to get some movement going. You know, Jonathan Stewart had a nice run in the last series, but they have to be fluid. They've done a good job in the first 2 preseason games of stringing some drives on. They have to get a drive going.
So Mike Shula, Panthers offensive coordinator. Cameron Artis-Payne in the backfield. Ted Ginn joins him. This will be Artis-Payne for 2 yards, maybe the last play of the first quarter. Both defenses have gotten the better of both offenses so far. Is that fair statement?
Yeah, it's just been stingy. I think that's a fair assessment.
The end of the first quarter.
So the first quarter is over. 2 teams will change ends. We'll be back with the second quarter for you next. Preseason game number 3 with the score from Uptown Charlotte, Patriots 3, the Carolina Panthers 0. First quarter stats are brought to you by Bank of America. And the stats, Mike Rucker, are suggestive of preseason football.
Yeah, when you look at, first of all, 3rd down, no one's got that 3rd down right there, and then penalties. I mean, you got 6 penalties in the first quarter. I don't think either coach is happy with that.
So Cam Newton, the Carolina Panthers against the Pats 4-3. Cameron Artis Payne for 6. What do you think of him as a back?
Well, I think the coaching staff really wants to get a good look at him. I mean, obviously you know what you have in Tolbert and Stewart. They really like Fozzie Whitaker and what he's done. But Cameron Artis Payne is another guy. If they want to get some reps with the first offensive line to see what he can really do and what he brings to the table.
And you see the total yards. Patriots have missed a short field goal. 3-0 New England. Sidearm throw. Benjamin at the 39, leans forward to the 41, and that's the Panthers' first down of the night.
You know, kind of what we talked about, Mick, trying to get that first down and get this team going. You go back to your big target, and Kelvin Benjamin right there for a first down, and now you're looking at your second series, trying to get some more momentum going.
Funchess gets in the game, Benjamin out. 14-yard gain to the 41. Artis Payne right at Khalil for good yardage. What's it like to have a center that can get downfield like Ryan Khalil can do?
Well, I think that's what makes him so special is he's a quick center, especially on like this play right here or screens or draws. He's able to get to the next level or get out around the tackle very quicker than your average Joe. I mean, obviously he's a Pro Bowler, but that's an added bonus when you have a center that is fast and quick like that.
Cameron Artis Payne, Cap they call him, trying to add to his preseason resume. And here he is again. Low center of gravity, hard to bring down. It's a first down into Patriot territory. 12-yard gain on the pass from Cam Newton.
Well, they're making the connection. This is one thing Cameron Artis Payne could do. He's got nice hands out of the backfield, just a little swing pass, gets downfield. He's not juking and jiving, getting positive yards. This bodes well for him and what the coaches want to see out of him tonight.
DBs and linebackers hate it when a back like that gets up under their pads and then delivers a blow. Play clock ticking down. Middle crowded. Artis Payne bounces it right. Flag down.
Holding. Number 84 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
There's Ed Dixon. Yep. You're going to see Ed Dixon right there. The play's going to bounce out. Nice connect, but see, when every time you get your hands outside that jersey, that's an easy call for the umpire.
Are you prejudiced because you're a defensive end?
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. They're going to call. You can call holding every play. The coach would always say, "Hey, you got to get off that block and make that referee call it." So you have to make it evident.
So that looked like a penalty to you?
Yeah, as a defensive guy, I'll take it.
4 penalties, 39 yards for the Panthers. Over the middle, intercepted. Picked off New England. The 40, McCourty across midfield to the 49. Tipped passes over the middle. Teams do the trip drill more often than not. They get picked off. We'll break it down for you when we come back to Bank of America Stadium with the score 3-0 New England. The NFL's reigning MVP, Cam Newton, getting coached up by Ken Dorsey. Derek Anderson eavesdropping on the conversation. 4 turnovers in the preseason. 2 of them have come tonight. And we'll show you that tipped ball and the McCourty pick after this play. Brady turns to the near sideline, hands the ball off to Gaffney. And Gaffney to the 33 and a first down. Okay, here's the interception. Chris Long, 9th-year player out of Virginia. How did he get through, Ron?
Well, he acts like he's going to come and he just drops back in coverage. Just gets his fingertip. Can't pump. Saw the wide open Funchess come across the middle. But Long tricked him. Chris Long tricked him by dropping back in coverage.
Patriots snap it while the Panthers looked like still getting set defensively. Again, Tyler Gaffney, 3rd-year player out of Stanford, hit by Thomas Davis. 2nd down and 5.
And the New England Patriots, they're good with making these cutbacks and wham plays. I mean, the 2-run plays they start out with get big chunk yardage. And that's the one thing that's a little bit tough in the preseason when you don't see wham plays and cutbacks like that because your offense doesn't play that way and you don't have a lot of time to game plan.
What is a wham play? Nate Solder up out of his stance early.
Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, that wham play, they're going to let a defensive lineman come free, which in this world, you don't get anything free. But then they're going to bring somebody from one way or the other that is going to wham you and knock you off as you're coming into the backfield. It creates a big gap. And so that's something that you have to practice for during preseason in the week before.
A tight end normally, somebody.
A tight end or a fullback usually does the wham.
Yep. Empty set. See how the Panthers play. 4-man pressure. Brady going long and right. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Hogan for the touchdown. 33 yards.
I tell you what, Tom Brady's been on the shelf for a couple of weeks and he has come out on fire. I mean, you'll see right here, matched up against Ben Wickery, who's had a good preseason. Ben Wickery, I'd like to see him get more of a jam on him at the line of scrimmage to mess up Hogan's timing. But that release and Tom Brady putting the ball in the right spot, that's a tough play.
Patriots will go for 2. Panther defense adjusting. Brady possibly checking off. That pass had a lot of gas on it, and Dobson could not get but just a fingernail on it. So the Panther defense holds on the 2-point try, but Tom Brady and Chris Hogan strike for 33. It's Carolina trailing New England 9-0 in the second quarter. Let's check in with our Krispy Kreme sweet tweets. A couple clearly on a first date in front of us. Dude's in it to win it. You never know who we're going to hear from, including someone who is deployed. We love when the tweets come, Mike, especially when folks are overseas serving the country.
Absolutely. We appreciate your service.
When the Panthers win, you win. The Monday following a Panther victory, you get a dozen original glaze for just $4.99 at Krispy Kreme. So the Patriots taking a page out of the Panther book, points off of turnovers.
And this one, we talked about it, but the ball was just inside and Cam throwing off his back foot. Cam double pumps there. I don't think it was necessarily a bad decision. Chris Long was just in the right spot to get the tip of it.
So not the best start for Cam Newton, and still plenty of football left. I mean, no need to panic.
No. And I actually everything is kind of really rolled their way. And so this is a little bit of adversity, which I kind of like because they need to know that this is still hard and it's not going to be easy.
Artist Payne tripped up right at the mesh point of the option. It's the lower body with Cam Newton, it seems like. When the right elbow dips down, the front shoulder comes up, the ball sails. So much of that is he stepping into throws, and can he step into the throws?
And those are the little things that kind of can be the difference of the ball sailing maybe 2-3 inches high that all of a sudden your guy can't get to it versus it being in the right spot.
Patriots single high safety, tackle box crowded. Ted Ginn covered tightly. It was Crayvon LeBlanc on Ted Ginn.
You're going to see Ginn right there getting off the jam. Ted Ginn has got so much speed that sometimes it just looks like he's driving a car how fast he gets off the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 10. 5 receivers in the pattern. Newton with choices. Fozzie Whitaker short of the first down.
And this is a great example of Cam wanting to go downfield, and he's got a safety valve in Whitaker, but he takes the safety valve and he dumps it off. Cam has talked about when he talked to Mr. Richardson, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, take what the defense gives you. If you got a wide open back, get the ball in his hands, let him make hay.
Exactly, because many times, and Fozzie Whitaker didn't do it there, but many times the back can be a hero.
Absolutely.
The Redfern punt. Wobbly spiral. Cyrus Jones with some free yards, and he'll take them. Tripped up at the 42. So the Patriots lead the Carolina Panthers 9-0 on a beautiful night in the American South. Back with more football after a word from your local Panthers station. See the Panthers score. New England 9, Carolina 0. Scores from around the NFL are brought to you by Geico. Buffalo and Washington are 6-0 Bills. Panthers will play at Washington this year. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Give Geico a call and see if they can save you some money. Brady remains in. That's Blunt. He loves jumping over people. LeGarrette Blunt, that's a trademark of his, is hurdling defenders. First down to the 40, a 17-yard run.
Yeah, Luke Kuechly not happy with up front and how the New England Patriots are running the ball. You see there's another wham play right there. Freeing Blunt to get into that secondary.
That will not look good in the film room on a variety of levels. Brady looks at Blunt underneath and then goes over Martellus Bennett's head, incomplete.
Well, this defense prides itself in the run game. Inside the box, they got a 7-man box or 8-man box. They pride themselves on being able to stop the run. You don't see this defense give up these kind of big plays in the run game very often.
Kuechly knows only one speed, of course, and that's full on. Brady from the Panther 40. Edelman pummeled by Bradbury. Good tackle in space by the rookie corner.
Yeah, that was a good tackle. Dropping back in coverage, keeping the guy in front of him, and then driving the tackle. You saw how he wrapped the legs up? There was no way that he was going to get out of that tackle. Good tackle by the young rookie.
Formed him right up, didn't he?
He formed him right up. That was textbook right there.
James White in the backfield. Hogan in motion. He's been a pest. 3rd down and 4. Tom Brady. He bobble it? Incomplete. A.J. Derby.
Yeah, the Panthers caught a break right there with the bobble and able to get off the field, at least take it to 4th down.
Our next telecast, Pittsburgh, here Thursday night on the Carolina Panthers television network. So it'll be a long one, 52 for Gostkowski. Coming right into your living room. No good.
Field goal is no good by rule of the ball deflection. Spot of the kick. Timeout.
Gostkowski has missed 2, and he knew he hooked this one as soon as it left his foot.
Welcome back to Bank of America Stadium. Patriots leading the Panthers 9-0 going into the late in the second quarter here, and there seems to be a quarterback change. Derek Anderson has gone into the game. Cam Newton came off the sidelines after that last drive. They talked for a little while, and then Coach Dorsey gave the sign to Derek Anderson saying, hey, you're in. He got warmed up, got with Khalil, got some snaps, and now he's in the ball game.
Anderson fakes a handoff. Fires over the middle, caught for the first down. Funchess into Patriot territory.
Well, a lot of times when you come off the bench, you need to warm up, but Derek Anderson seems like he's warm, connecting with Funches in the middle of the field.
18 yards, and the Panthers go without a huddle. Delayed blitz coming. Ball's out of there quickly. Caught by Funches, and then he was tattooed at the 31. Fumble the ball. It will go as a throw and a catch for 9 yards.
Well, you can see what Shula's doing. He's trying to get the tempo up with quick plays. You can see Derek Anderson getting the ball out quickly. He's trying to get some energy going and trying to get a drive going.
False start, number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
So let's go back to Cam Newton for a second, Mike. With the starters supposed to play into the third quarter, why do you think the Panthers changed quarterbacks right here in this game?
Well, it could be a couple of things. Maybe he got the snap counts that they wanted him to get. I mean, regardless of what the outcome of his play was on the field, there's a certain snap count that they want everybody to get. And maybe he reached his. The second thing is, this is a preseason game. You are looking at the Denver Broncos on Thursday night, week 1, and that has got to be your priority. You want to get guys oiled up, but you don't want that one accident to happen that can hamper the number 1 guy on this team at the quarterback position.
Not everything that happened poorly for the offense was his fault, but will it be hard for him to marinate on this until the regular season opener, because he probably won't play next week?
Well, he's a competitor, and I think that, you know, if you played the game long enough, you'll have some tough games. You have some games that you want to play through. I think that he's going to be all right. He's matured. He's a guy that can play this game at a high level. I think he's going to be fine week 1.
Meanwhile, the closest thing to an emerging star in this game offensively has been the second-year receiver out of Michigan.
Again, Derek Anderson and Funches, that seems like this drives combo. Again, you see tall, big receivers in this offense that can go up and snag the ball out of the air.
Beautiful catcher of the ball, Devin Funches. Big hands and knows how to triangulate. Receiver spread out, low snap, handled by Anderson. And he pumps the throw, almost intercepted. Trayvon LeBlanc had a great opportunity.
Well, you know, Mick, you'll see the jam. These receivers, if you're a big receiver, you're going to have to get your hands on them. And you saw him try to jam him to knock him off his route. And then he was able to turn inside. So it was good coverage. If Derek could just get the ball out in front, he might have had a shot right there.
Good defense by LeBlanc. He's been the Patriots' leading tackler in the preseason. Rookie out of Florida Atlantic. Second down and 10. Cameron Artis-Payne. Shoulder to the outside, and then he just dipped inside and got what he could. So it'll be third down and 8. And the pace of the offense slows down just so that, not so the Panthers can huddle, but just so a new personnel group can get in. Big play. The third interception for the New England secondary. Harmon across the 30. Might have stepped out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line, but another interception.
And that's been kind of the thing. You get a couple plays and then, you know, something bad happens. You know, Norwood, I don't think he even saw the ball up in the air. And you thought Norwood had a shot to get the tackle right there, and he slips out of his hands and is able to get out to about the 25-yard line.
You're right, Ruck. He never got his head turned around.
He never got his head turned around, and, you know, obviously this is the third turnover tonight. You know, this offense likes to protect the ball, and you've given it away 3 times. You got to tip your hat off to this New England defense. We talked about how good they are, and they're taking the ball away.
Edelman motions to a right slot. Batted down. I would guess Mario Addison, but I'd probably be wrong. Let's wait till the replay.
And it might have been a KK Short, all-pro defensive tackle. Led the team in sacks last year. Getting his paws on that one.
Panthers mug up into the A gaps. And only one backer comes, Davis. Brady gets his feet set. And Coleman had a chance at the interception. Kurt Coleman.
Kurt Coleman does everything right. He reads it right. He breaks on the ball. But he doesn't bring it in, and he is hitting himself. You got to catch this, Kurt. You see it right. He left the ball get to his chest and bounces right off.
Kuechly had one of those. Those are two of the more sure-handed defenders in the league.
And that's the difference, you know, 3 turnovers going the other way versus 2 coming back to you.
So you give Brady new life. Backside pressure. Gets there. Tony Ely.
You know, Coney Ely, a young defensive end out of Missouri who is starting to emerge. You'll see him do a little twist game and come right inside over the center, up the middle. And then you have Mario Addison making Tom Brady step up in the pocket, coming right to Coney Ely.
Great look across the field. Both gunners being doubled. Chance for a run back. Left-footed punter. Ball will spin counterclockwise. And Ken could do nothing but make the fair catch. 45-yard punt and no return. 3 minutes until halftime. And at halftime, Chuck Howard will be live in our Charlotte studio. And let's go to Chuck and see what is on the menu. Chucker.
All right, Mick, thank you very much. Tonight is Alumni Night here at Bank of America Stadium. And coming up at halftime, we catch up with one of the all-time leading rushers and greats of the Carolina Panthers, Stephen Davis. This summer, we had the chance to return to Spartanburg, South Carolina, Davis's longtime home and childhood home. And we profiled his legendary Carolina roots, and we reflect on the Carolina Panthers' run to Super Bowl 43. Much more with that great coming up in the second half. Back to Mike and Mick.
Looking forward to it. Thanks. Cam Newton checks back in, and he sidearms it to Devin Funchess on a shallow cross for 3 yards. What do you make of it, partner?
Well, you know, they got me on this one. And sometimes, you know, kind of like in baseball where the coach has got to come out to the mound and kind of talk to you. Maybe that's just something where they wanted him to regroup and to get back out here.
Bunch trips left. Newton reverses out and aborts. Jamie Collins brings some heat.
Quarterback's out of the pocket.
And this is a good play and a good decision by Cam. He rolls out. He doesn't have anything. So, 1, he's not going to force anything. And 2, he didn't run it to put himself in harm. He just threw the ball away. Good decision by Cam. You'll see the pressure coming right up the middle on the backside A gap. Cam makes a good decision. That's what his athletic ability gives you. 9 out of 10 times that average quarterback would have took the sack right there, but instead he rolls out and buys some time and then throws the ball away.
Good call, Rook. I think you're right on it on Cam Newton coming back in. Maybe just get some air in his lungs, just take a look at it from the sideline, and then come back in for more football. Fastball right on the money. Plummer on 3rd down.
And it's tough to get your mojo back when you do put the ball in the right spot. It just seems like this offense is just off a little bit. Either the ball's high and the receiver's open, or the receiver's open and the ball's delivered right where you need it to be. Tag in, just not able to bring it in.
It happens. Burson had one he knows he'll catch next time. So like we said, these stats will not look good for Cam Newton, but it's a team game. This time, they're red for punt, suboptimal. Kicks out of bounds at the 20-yard line near side. 43-yard punt. It will look better on the stat sheet than he hit the ball. So what's going through his head right now?
Well, he's looking at all the throws. He's replaying these plays in his mind. And I guarantee you, the competitor that he is, he's thinking, like, how can we get this offense going? Now, I guarantee he wants that ball back. Hopefully this defense can go 3 and out and get him the ball back so he can work a 2-minute. It'd be a good way to go into halftime with a little bit of energy underneath your belt.
Anderson this year, and I think maybe even Joe Webb, they've had some work in 2-minute. So the Panthers would love to get Cam Newton some reps with the red ball as well. Handoff goes to James White.
This is the 2-minute warning.
And we're at 2 minutes. 2 minutes to play in the first half from Bank of America Stadium. And we'll be back with more after this word from your local Panther station. It's the National Football League on the Carolina Panthers television network. Mick Mixon, Mike Rucker, Kevin Donnelly with you. Beautiful night in Charlotte. Panther defense has had moments, played fairly well. Both teams really have had some issues throwing the ball to the other team. Panthers could have easily had 2 interceptions had Kuechly and Coleman hung on. 2nd down 8, Garoppolo. Twist on. He lofts a pass for Hogan and is too tall. Ben Wickery following him step for step.
You know, New England brings in Garoppolo, wanting to see him with the #1 offense and running this 2-minute drill. And you've seen both teams, we talked about it in the break, both teams kind of shifting in starters and backups and really just trying to get a flow and get guys in certain situations.
Next week, we're right back here. Thursday night football, Pittsburgh. Here's a blitz, Thomas Davis, and then a delayed blitz coming, but Garoppolo escapes. Ball's out. Patriots fall on it at the 19.
You know, we talked to Sean McDermott. You know, he doesn't like to pressure a lot, but you'll see them blitz, and you can see the speed of Thomas Davis, who shoots the A-gap, loops around, and walks Garoppolo down for the fumble.
That was incredible football. Davis, the blitzer, somehow or another runs the play down from behind as well.
And if you don't know, this guy has had 3 ACL surgeries, and he's running like a deer.
So what about Worley's technique? Is he supposed to go airborne like that?
Well, it's a blitz. You prefer to deliver that hit. When he goes airborne, he takes the power out of himself. If that quarterback pumps him, he's in the air, and then that quarterback can run around him. You want to stay on your feet and run through that quarterback. He runs through that quarterback, he gets the sack.
It looked good.
It looked good. Yeah, you know, when he goes up in the air, it looks good for TV, but the coach is going to say, look, stay on your feet. If you feel like he's going to throw the ball, put your hands up. Don't necessarily jump.
Ryan Allen. Fair catch. Secure. Demir Bird. So on the ruckus straighter, that last Carolina Panther blitz.
Well, you'll see the corner blitz coming right here, right to left. Wide open. See, if he stays on his feet, he runs through that quarterback, and you deliver a punishing hit. But Thomas Davis, the speed that he has coming through the A-gap, as we talked about, and walking Garoppolo down from behind and getting the fumble. And here's Cam Newton coming back in. We talked about earlier, like, hey, this is where he wants to be. When you said, hey, what's he thinking about? He's thinking about working the 2-minute drill before halftime.
The perfect setup just for the reps to get Newton a look at 2-minute in the preseason. Fozzie Whitaker just off his right hip. 3-by-1 set. Burson blown up by Hightower.
And Burson's one of these guys that's trying to vie for that slot spot. You'll see him come across the middle. When you come across the middle, you got to have the toughness to be able to take hits like that, and he's done that.
2nd down 7. Newton pumps once. And the pass incomplete of Funchess near side. Justin Coleman in coverage, so now it's 3rd down and 7.
Funches thought there was a little bit of contact there. There's a no call by the referee. This is a key 3rd down. I think if you're the Carolina offense, you've got to want to say, we've got to get this 3rd down.
Yeah, just for how you feel about yourself, if nothing else. Good clean pocket for Newton. Ted Ginn at the 35-yard line, incomplete.
I mean, you know, one of the takeaways you got to say right now in this first half is that you got to tip your hat off to the offensive line and give them the time. But you see Coleman right here. This Patriots defense is being really physical with these wide receivers of the Carolina Panthers. They're up in their face. They're putting their hands on them. And that's what you have to do when you're going up against tall wide receivers. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job.
Cyrus Jones with 1:04 to play 2nd quarter. Fair catch made at the 12. 43-yard punt. No return. Newton working over that wad of gum on the sideline.
Now they've had some opportunities and either missed throws or drop passes have kind of haunted them in this first half.
Coach Rivera was very pleased with the Wednesday practice. Thursday a walkthrough. And a lot of times you play like you practice, but sometimes not so much.
Yeah, I just think things aren't clicking tonight, and you know, for this first half. But this is what the halftime's for, to go in and regroup. Games aren't won in the first half; they're won in the 4th quarter, and so that's why Coach said he's excited to see the guys come out of halftime and see what they can do.
And it's not been all bad. The Carolina Panther defense has made some plays. Preseason football in August, and the final 21 seconds will evaporate off the clock. The two teams know it, and they already begin streaming to the halftime locker room. We got a terrific halftime show planned for you. Mike Rucker's been heavily involved with the alumni of the Carolina Panthers, star-studded group in town. We will spotlight Stephen Davis from Spartanburg at the break. So the interval score, preseason game number 3, Bank of America Stadium, Uptown Charlotte. New England Patriots 9 and the Carolina Panthers 0.
Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Autobell Car Wash. When we shine, you shine. By Subway, eat fresh. And by Assa Abloy, the global leader in door opening solutions. Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Touchstone Energy, North Carolina's Touchstone Energy cooperatives powering the lives of 2.5 million North Carolinians. By Subway, eat fresh. And by Assa Abloy, the global leader in door opening solutions.
Just down the street from Romeeeee Bearden Park is a stadium in a park, the classic American stadium known as Bank of America Stadium. Mick Mixon, Mike Rucker at the break. And Ruck, this is where you got a tough job, my friend, because you got to give us some way to think about what you've seen through the first 2 quarters here at Bank of America Stadium.
Well, I think the play calling is there. I think there's just been some miscues, guys not on the same page. When the ball's overthrown, the receiver's in the right spot. It's just been a rocky start for Cam and this receiving core.
So the Panthers will kick off to start the second half. Pats will come out of there with it to the 18-yard line. The rule change this year that on touchbacks, the ball will come out to the 25. So what we think some teams are going to do is try to short-circuit the player safety component of that rule by pooch kicking off in a way to try to hem the other team in.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Rivera the other day about this, and he said that they're going to try it too. They're going to see how this works, and they're going to try to it's going to put a little bit more onus on the kicker to put it in the right spot, but they're going to test it out in the preseason to see how it works out for them.
1st and 10 New England. Jimmy Garoppolo with LeGarrette Blount behind him. Shaq Thompson coming on a blitz, picked up. And Hogan for 5 yards. James Bradbury made the tackle. This is Coach Ron Rivera on the Panthers playing in the second half.
The important thing is really to see how they come out after halftime. We haven't done that yet. You know, they played the first quarter of the first game, got to the second quarter of the second game. Now we'll take them into the third quarter, see how they react coming out at halftime. And
so Coach Rivera, Mike Rucker wanting to see that. Want to get the players used to the feeling of getting warmed back up again to play in the third quarter.
And then the mindset. I mean, obviously things aren't going the way you want it necessarily sometimes, and so you want to see the mindset of how you come out and you're dealing with adversity.
LeGarrette Blount, for a thick, heavy core running back, is pretty elusive. 11 yards and a first down. A Panther missed it in space. Blount again. Shaq Thompson doesn't miss him this time. And a loss of 1.
And New England's doing something similar too. They're trying to come out. They've come out with the hurry-up offense. Little swing pass right here. He gets the outside, but Shaq Thompson, who's had a great training camp, whether it's in turnovers, interceptions, or being in the right place at playing the slot, knocks the ball out right there.
Garoppolo, preseason passer rating of 105 plus. Blount over left tackle. Runs into K'Wan Short.
Again, New England just running that wham play that we talked about earlier, where they're letting these defensive guys come free. That defensive line's got to stop immediately and then find the blocker and then press the gap.
3rd down and 8. James White in the backfield. Brandon Bolden checks in as well. Blitzers. And a sack. Trey Boston, but there's a flag on the play.
Offside, number 91, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty still, 3rd down.
Ryan
Correction, 94.
It was Coney Ely. Yeah, and that's one that you've got to be like, because here you come up, you dial up a blitz if you're Sean McDermott, and the blitz gets home, and then it gets called back because of alignment and being offsides.
So 3rd and 8 becomes 3rd down and 3. And New England doesn't make it. They could go for it on 4th and a yard, but James White is stood up and thrown backward.
Again, you know, Shaq Thompson, this is all the weight room right here. This is Imano. Who's going to push the pocket? You see Shaq Thompson right there digging those legs from those squats in the offseason, and he doesn't allow that first down. Now, they're going for it, but you allow yourself to play for another down. Good job by Shaq Thompson.
LeGarrette Blount, the lone setback. Close. Don't think he made it.
Guess who?
Kuechly.
Guess who? Would you have not, you wouldn't have thought it was anybody else but number 59, Luke Kuechly.
One of the highlight plays of the night, turned in by the incomparable Luke Kuechly. Timeout from Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte.
You'll see the score 9-0 New England, but you'll see number 56, A.J. Klein. Now that's a hold. He gets whipped around, and it looks like his head hits one of the offensive players, and that shoulder, he was kind of shaking that shoulder when he got up, Mick.
In that sort of soupy undertow of a play, many times little dings and nick. I mean, it's an incredible game with bodies flying in so many different areas. O-line all flowing left. Cameron Artis-Payne wrestling for 4 yards. Marcus Kuhn stopped him. You got out of the game, Ruck, with all your faculties, hips, neck?
Yes. Everything, we got out healthy, which is good. And we played a long time, and sometimes those little bitty knickknacks will shut you down, especially the toes. The toes are the ones that will shut you down the quickest.
Short drop Newton, loads up, Tolbert right wing, first down. 11 yards.
And if you could see the difference in the play calling and Cam's decision, he is not forcing the ball, and he's taking these swing passes and giving it to the running backs. Artis-Payne earlier, you see Tolbert right here getting the ball, and you're picking up good yardage and you're moving the sticks.
So hard for young quarterbacks, and Cam Newton is at the height of his powers, to learn to just take what is there. Get the ball to someone else, let them make a play. High throw, but Benjamin climbs the ladder and snares it to the 21-yard line, another first down.
Again, this starts with the offensive line giving Cam time. We've talked about it all game. It's a nice, clean pocket. Ball a little high for KB, but that's why you got your tall receivers, that they can go up and get that ball. Nice catch by Kelvin Benjamin.
That's that phrase, catch radius.
Yes. When you have a tall receiver and then he can jump even higher, that's what he can do for you.
Tolbert with Dixon blocking. Weeble wobbles to the 16. Definitely looks like a different offense on this drive. Here's our CPI Security System red zone offense look. Carolina Panthers in the preseason. Like to have a few more tuggies in this.
You do, and that's something that, you know, playing in the preseason, you know, the ones weren't in as much early in these first two games, and so that could be a factor of some of that. But you'd like to see a couple more in the TD column.
CPI is great, by the way. The official security and home automation company of the Carolina Panthers. Cameron Artis-Payne, good move in a tight spot, and he's got the first down.
Another thing about Cameron Artis-Payne that I like, he can run inside the tackles, he can catch the ball, or he can run the sweeps. But when he gets inside the tackles, he just is always going downhill. He'll give you a little wiggle right there, but his feet and his shoulders are still moving forward. He's not juking and getting fancy in the hole. He's getting positive yards.
Scott Simonson, the fullback, right hand on the ground. First and 10 from the 12. Cameron Artis-Payne. Tackle from behind and from in front. Got to the 10.
Not a whole lot going on right here, but Cameron Artis-Payne still getting positive yards downhill. And, you know, we talked about the passing game, Nick, you know, this evening, but the running game, they've had some big plays. They've had some big runs, and so it's been kind of overshadowed by some of the passing game.
This is what's known as an empty set. Cam Newton in the pocket by himself. He's got company, unwanted company, but Cam Newton's improvising. The throw, oh! Dropped by Dixon at the mouth of the end zone.
Wow. I mean, there's so much to talk about in this play. New England draws up a blitz, but this is what Cam gives you, a big body, the presence of seeing the blitzer rolling out. But he's not running. He's still looking downfield. He puts a lot of pressure on the New England defense. Is he going to run? Is he going to throw the ball? Ed Dixon drops the pass. He catches that, and that is one beautiful play.
3rd down and 8 from the 10. 2 on the play clock. 1. Panthers get it off. Newton looks left, now comes back to the right. Now he's off script. Field goal time.
And no, that's not pretty. Yes, would you have liked to have seen a pass at the back of the end zone for a touchdown? Yeah, but Cam makes the right decision. New England's got a spy back there, is waiting for Cam to take off running. Cam has nothing. He throws it away. You have a goose egg up there. Now you have an opportunity to kick a field goal and get some points on the board. I think that's a good decision by number one.
This will be a 29-yard attempt. Gano out of the Redfern hold. The Jansen snap. And the kick is good. So the Panthers, as Mike Rucker said, get on the scoreboard. We'll be back with more football after these words from your local Panther station. Here in the booth as the Panthers are now on the board and have trimmed the pass lead to 6 points. We are just about ready to introduce you to a real luminary. But first, the Panther scoring drive. 40 yards, 9 plays, featured a couple of nifty 11-yard pass completions before the drive bogged down. Took 4 minutes, and then Graham Gano put it through the pipes from 29. After the kickoff, we're going to take a break. And then after the break, you're going to meet a Hall of Famer. The approach. Gano bangs it deep enough. Stand by for a former Panther from the press box next. Kevin Green, when he played for the Carolina Panthers, played with that effervescent joy, overwhelming physical skill, and he got upfield. Former Panther linebacker and the newest member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Kevin. Welcome back. What's it like to be back here at the stadium?
It's awesome. This is like my home, away from home, being back here at the stadium, feeling this energy in front of the fans, smelling the grass here, seeing the Panthers on the field. It's just awesome.
Well, hang out with us and talk a little ball here for a few minutes. Garoppolo on the run. Incomplete pass right side. Kevin, did you talk to the team earlier today? If so, what was your message?
Play together. Play as one. Be brothers, Come together, love each other, and do something special.
One of the things, Kevin, we saw each other, in the playoffs earlier this year. How's it been the past, 8 months for you?
It's been a phenomenal ride, being selected to the Hall of Fame and being a part of that team is going to last for eternity. But I must say, putting on that gold jacket, it's awesome. But really, I was surrounded by a lot of good people, a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches in my time, a lot of great GMs and good owners. And that's the reason why I can put on that gold jacket.
Where were you when you got the call?
I was in a hotel room there in San Francisco, when I got that big knock on the door by the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker, congratulating me in my selection to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was quite surreal.
What are you doing now, Kevin?
I'm being a dad, which is a cool thing. My son, Gavin, goes to the University of Southern Mississippi. He's a walk-on like his old man, and we're season ticket holders, and Tara and I are going to go watch him play and be a cheerleader. And being a dad, it's cool.
Has he got your gift of playing?
Well, Gavin's going to be a little limited like his dad. But you know what? Rucky's going to make up with it.
Absolutely.
With that heart. He's got a heart of a warrior, and you got that heart, then that never says die.
Hope you're as proud of your legacy with the Panthers as the Panthers are to have had you.
I tell you what, I had 3 great years here playing for Mr. Richardson, playing in front of this crowd, surrounded by a lot of great players, Sam Mills and Carlton Bailey and Greg Cragen,
and timeout.
Just Coach Dom Capers and Billy Davis, my position coach, just they were such a blessing, around me, and it was just such a blessing to be a Panther.
Appreciate you, Kevin. Congratulations again.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
The incomparable Kevin Green with us from the press box. Time out for a break with the Patriots up by 6. Our sweet tweets brought to you by Krispy Kreme. You never know what might happen. We might find a lost dog. Or someone might suggest that Mike Rucker come out of retirement.
Oh, no. Now, mentally you're sharp, but I tell you what, you got quarterbacks and receivers on this field that are bigger than me. So my time is long gone.
Blitz up the middle. Newton delivers to Benjamin. A strike, and Benjamin out of bounds at the 26. Kevin Green, great to have him in the booth. Did your careers intersect?
Yes, he was there my rookie year, and he was a mentor, and I was blessed to have him. And I tell you what, he would beat the janitor into the film room. I tell you what, there's no one that puts more time in that film room than him, and I learned so much from Kevin Green that has helped me in my 9-year career.
Second down and short. Cameron Artis Payne in. Dixon from Newton, short range, and a first down. Let's go to Kevin Donnelly, because I think, Kevin, you and Kevin Green also played some together, did you not?
I had to play against him for many years. We were in the old Central Division, and he was my arch nemesis. He could rush the passer. He seemed like that Pittsburgh Steelers defense always had a game plan dialed up to stop the Oilers and Warren Moon, and I was so glad to see him retire. I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame, but he was not a mentor to me. He was a big pain in my backside.
Newton on the run. To the 36-yard line, Ed Dixon again.
This is another good escape by Cam Newton. Again, a free blitzer up the middle, but Cam spins out and buys time. Again, he doesn't want to run. He could have ran, but he's looking for the downfield, which I like. That's how he has grown. He keeps his eyes downfield and tosses it.
Patriots have, and the Panthers too, have dialed up some blitzes in this game.
There have been some blitzing going on, and I think sometimes, you know, the blitz might be dialed up just to get your guys going because maybe they're stale a little bit.
Fozzie Whitaker. Flag down from behind the play, and then another flag from the front side of the play.
Holding, number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
Michael Orr. Show it to us, Rook.
And you see him right there, the left tackle, and he comes down on a down block and then comes off on the linebacker. But again, anytime you're going to get on the side of your defender, they're going to call that more times than not. I know he was upset and he ran at the referee to tell him it wasn't a hold, but that's his second one. But the thing is, he's getting himself out of position. He did a nice down block, but then got himself out of position.
Whitaker, meanwhile, had started to come off and then just dropped to one knee in pain.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding that left shoulder's kind of down. Had a hard, tough run right here. And you don't see a whole lot, but sometimes the little things that you can't see are the biggest ones. He's had a good preseason. Coach Rivera's talked highly of him and what he brings to the table. And so, you know, it really stinks that he's coming off the field with that shoulder injury.
Meanwhile, up front, Trey Turner out. Tyler Larson in. On second down. Slant. High and behind the slanter. Ted Ginn.
Again, I think Coach Rivera, obviously Cam and some of these ones are in longer than maybe expected, but I think he's wanting to get something going. Again, just another miscue. Whether the receiver broke off the route or Cam threw high to the outside. Either way, that's kind of been the story of tonight.
Third down, 11 in a 6-point game. Newton, plenty of room, plenty of time. Look long, tucks the ball, and throws it out of bounds.
Again, Cam's got the time to throw, and I think he's wanting it downfield. You know, KB comes, nice little double move right there, but then the pressure got to Cam. You can see right here, four-man rush. And Cam gets out the pocket. I thought Cam had some underneath guys open, some running backs for a safety valve, but wanted that home run.
When Newton leaned back like that, it looked like he was going to throw the ball 70 yards downfield, but he just didn't like what he saw.
And I think KB got his defender on that double move.
Jones across midfield. Redfern whiffs and then keeps it, the play alive, tackles him from behind. It looked like a block in the back was missed right as the return began. Did you see the same thing, Ruck? All right, let's take a break. 59-yard punt, unfortunately, an inspirational return. Back with more after this word from your local Panther station. On the replay, just to the numbers right side, Ruck, that's what I thought the block in the back had occurred on Sanchez. What'd you see?
Well, you know, you're going to find this all the time, but what I see is two guys, you see McLean right here, get pushed out of his lane. That's okay, but now he's got to come diving back in and get back in his lane, and that's where he left a gaping hole for this return. McLean has got, if he gets pushed out of his lane, he's got to get back in. And if he isn't, Horton, number 96, has got to see that he's out of his lane. He's got to cross over and fill in for him.
Meanwhile, Jacoby Brissett's a good look at Thomas McGahee, one of the new special teams coaches for the Panthers. Somewhere right in that Patriot huddle is the 7, Jacoby Brissett. Third-round draft choice out of NC State. Foster with him in the backfield. Brissett hit as he throws, but it's complete to Foster. And he will have the first down. 11-yard gain. Foster hadn't played yet in the preseason, but Brissett could factor into Bill Belichick's thinking long term. He's a good player.
Yeah, and the Panthers bring up a blitz to set the tone, get a good hit on the quarterback, but the little screen play is enough to get a first down.
To the 19-yard line. Brissett, 6'4", 235. Big arm, strong, can get off of defenders, avoid the blitz. Tyler Gaffney probing. Lost a yard. Big old Kayla piled up. We're on the air Thursday night of this coming week, 7:30, for the fourth and final preseason game. Swing pass, Foster. To the 12. Tackled by David Mayo. 9-yard game. Here's our red zone stats courtesy of CPI, the official security and home automation company of your Carolina Panthers. This was last year the Panthers defense in the red zone. Mike, how does that hit you?
Well, it's about the middle of the pack. So, you know, obviously, you know, if you talk to Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, he can always say there's always room for improvement, and they've gotten some opportunities this preseason to work on their red zone.
Third down and short, and a touchdown. New England throws a look into DeAndre Carter for 12 yards and the score.
New England, their offense looked real comfortable in this drive. You see the front four trying to collapse the pocket, but then you leave a little bit of a seam, and this Patriot offense can take advantage of a small seam.
15-3 New England. And the Patriots will not chase points. They'll just go for the PAT, and it is good. So a 13-point New England Patriot lead. There have been some trouble spots tonight for the Carolina Panthers, Ruck, but there have also been some bright spots like that man, Devin Funchess.
Yes, he's been a good target tonight. They've been after him. The New England defense has tried to jam him at the line, but he has found ways to get off the line. He's caught his balls, even the low balls. As a big guy, that sometimes it's tough to go get that ball that's down at your knees and your ankle. He's brought those, and then he's reached out and grabbed some. He's had a very active, good night tonight.
Funchess goes and gets the ball. In other words, he doesn't wait for the ball to get in on his pads. He attacks the ball with those big hands of his.
Yeah, and you know, he had that transition from college to the pros last year and came on really strong late in the year, became a big target for Cam. And I think having that year underneath his belt and now being able to learn from KB, you know, just a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, we were talking about who are going to be the receivers around here. And now you have a stable of receivers, and now you're going to have to let some good receivers go because there's just not enough room.
Bird has that kickoff roll up on him. So he takes a knee, but there's a penalty flag back up here at the 32. Let's go to Kevin Donnelly for the injury update on the Panthers sideline. Katie.
A few guys have come off a little bit dinged up, a couple of shoulders, but most importantly, I think the one to keep an eye on is Andrew Norwell, the starting left guard. Has got his ice on the left ankle, on his right ankle, I'm sorry, and he's just icing that thing down. He'll be out the rest of the game, obviously, but I think of all the little injuries that have happened this last quarter, he's the one to really keep an eye on as the Panthers move forward.
Need Norwell and those guards too. Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell both nicked in this game. Derek Anderson back in at QB for the Panthers. Mike Cyphers, another player that had the ice on the knee from the first quarter. Eye backs. Cameron Artis-Payne, the tail of the eye. Anderson's going long. Norwood had it on his hands for just a moment and couldn't hang on.
Well, Kevin Norwood uses some of his speed. You know, Derek Anderson knows exactly who he wants to go to, has the right coverage, puts the ball in the right spot. The only person that's going to make a play on that ball is going to be Norwood. You see Derek take a nice little hit right here at the end of this play.
Hit hard as he threw. Second down and 10. One back, Burson in the slot. Artis-Payne for a few. On our Geico scoreboard, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on your insurance. Washington up by 5 over Buffalo. Tampa Bay could be better this year. They're up over Cleveland 27-10 at the break. New Orleans trailing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will be here next week. And then a later start tonight, Green Bay at San Francisco. See Tony Romo get hurt last night or shaken up?
I didn't see that one, but I heard about it. That's one of the things, these preseason games, it's kind of like how much do you weigh up getting work in versus getting to the week one healthy. And that's always been the trouble of a coach. How much do we play our guys?
Coach Rivera hadn't had a lot to smile about tonight. He sort of alternated hands on his hips and hands on arms folded across his chest.
I think that he has seen better days and better preseason games, especially the way that they played week one preseason and two. You thought that there would be an uptrend, and there's just been just a little hitch in the step tonight.
DJ Foster elects not to return the punt, so we'll take a break. As the third quarter is over at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, the New England Patriots lead Carolina by 13. Fans are still here cheering their Carolina Panthers on. Fourth and final period upcoming. And you see the score. New England up by 13. Your stats through three quarters are brought to you by our friends at Bank of America. Michael.
Well, I think that you see the things that really stand out are third down, both 1-and-1. and the turnovers. I mean, it's been a sluggish side for both teams. But I guess on third down, I guess the defense, you can tip your hat off to that.
Gaffney
71 offense, 10
for
yard
about
penalty.
5, but
Still first
a
down.
holding penalty on the offense. Cameron Fleming, backup O-lineman. New England starts their season at Arizona. Then they're home for 3 in a row: Miami, Houston, and Buffalo. They've won the division 7 straight times. Can you believe that?
Yeah, when you go there, you know that the odds are in your favor going to the playoffs. But, you know, that's going to help them out with Tom Brady being out and Garoppolo being there. Him at least playing underneath his home lights will help them in those first 4 games.
Jacoby Brissett dragged down. Robert Thomas. Panthers really like this young man's strength. He played with good leverage, Mike, and good pad level.
Yeah, they liked him, and they've wanted to see him early in this game with some rotation, got some early snaps. He's a big body, kind of goes along with the other guys there. He's got some good guys in front of him that he can learn from.
His arms look like honey-baked hams.
The only thing about him and his position is it's so deep.
First team timeout.
Patriots call a timeout. Robert Thomas from Oklahoma played at Arkansas. So we'll take a break. Bank of America Stadium, early 4th quarter with the Panthers trailing by 13. Coach Rivera and the Carolina Panthers begin to substitute a bit more freely here in the 4th quarter. Great opportunity to see some of the future Carolina Panthers, perhaps. See some guys like Eric Kroom, who made a big play week 1 in the preseason. Brissett to the tight end A.J. Derby for good yardage in the first down. 20-yard gain.
Well, you see number 50, Brian Blutchen, doesn't get the best jam on the tight end, and tight end gets this free release right in the heart of your defense. You can't let a free guy just hang out in the middle of your defense. If you're going to jam him, you got to get your hands on him.
Brissett, good pocket awareness. That clock in his head, down to 1,000, boom, do something.
Yeah, I mean that's football. You got to know that clock. You got to know that you only got a few seconds, and then you got to either throw the ball or you got to get moving.
If he doesn't, Ryan Dallaire could have blown it up from behind.
And as a defensive guy, you got to know what kind of quarterback's in the game. If Tom Brady's in the game, you pretty much know that he's not going to be running around. But when you have an active, mobile quarterback, you got to know that you got to close the pocket.
Dallaire chasing the toss sweep. Tyler Gaffney. Ryan Blecken makes the tackle on our Geico scoreboard. No change in the Washington-Buffalo game. Same thing, Tampa Bay hosting Cleveland. Pittsburgh, New Orleans in the 3rd quarter. And then Green Bay, San Francisco is underway. Geico can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Just call 1-800-947-AUTO to find out how. Brissett throwing underneath. David Mayo tattoos Harper short of the first down.
Nice tackle by David Mayo. You'll see him right here, just a little dump off pass. But look at the tackle and how he runs his feet. And now it's 1 yard makes a big difference. If he doesn't run those feet, the running back can drag him for a yard. Good tackle by Mayo.
He's been tackling everything except the coaches on the sideline in this preseason.
He's had a very active preseason. All those linebackers have.
Ryan Allen, left-footed punter. Demir Bird. The rolling fair catch, but he secured it. Pride of the Carolinas, the Top Cats, entertaining the fans here. We'll be back with more football. First, this word from your local Panther station. Let's go to Kevin Donnelly down on the sideline with one of the best tight ends in the game, Greg Olsen. Kevin.
Thank you, Mick. Yeah, I'm here with Greg Olson. Obviously disappointed he didn't get to play tonight, but how do you feel? How's the back doing right now?
I'm doing great. I've had a good week of practice, good workout today, and just didn't feel like we needed to go out there and push it too much. So, but there's no question, a couple weeks in Denver, I'll be ready to roll.
Well, I know you wanted to be out there bad tonight, and the offense obviously didn't perform at a level that they were hoping to. What did you see out there from your perspective, what needs to be improved on?
Yeah, it just seemed like we were a little off, and I'm not sure why. It just seemed like just took turns missing some plays. You know, we had some opportunities, and just for whatever reason couldn't connect. We were a little off in some of our assignments or communication. So those are things we need to get addressed and fixed, coming up here fast.
Well, I know you're winding down the preseason. You got one more game next week, and it's unfortunate because you have your baby brother, Kevin Olson's going to be playing in a game next Thursday night at Louisville with University of North Carolina at Charlotte. They got a big game at Papa John's Stadium in Louisville. You guys are tight as a family. I know you want to be there and be able to see that. Are you going to be able to watch some games this season?
Yeah, I'll miss that opener because I'll be standing here on the sidelines for the Pittsburgh game. But, I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. Go down there and just compete. But we'll get to watch him a handful of times this year on some of our Thursdays, some of our bye-week off weekends. And I'm looking forward to watching those guys.
One last thing, as a professional and being a 10-year vet, you obviously got to where you are by setting goals and high, things to try and achieve every season. What are your goals for this season going in your 10th year? What are some things you'd like to do personally and see as a team?
I think the biggest thing is just try to impact the game on every play, with or without the ball. Be a guy that Cam can rely on. Be a guy that Cam knows where I'm going to be. Deliver me the ball. Come up in clutch moments. Make catches when we need them. And just try to kind of be the guy I've been the last couple years.
Well, thank you for your time. I hope you heal well, and good luck on the season.
Thanks, buddy.
Greg Olson gave one of the great speeches, Ruck, at the Charlotte Touchdown Club a couple of months ago. Talked about his son, TJ, born with a malformed left ventricle, the struggles the family has gone through there. Talked about the team, Charlotte, Mr. Richardson, Rosalind Richardson, etc. It was no notes. It was linear, no umming and ahhing. It was unbelievable. Greg Olson. All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll be back with more football next with the Panthers down 13. Ford Drive of the Game is brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealer. Go further. Visit us at buyfordnow.com. This is the Panthers' only scoring drive, right?
Yeah, just a nice little dump off pass to Tolbert. Going to the big target in KB, Kelvin Benjamin. Had a little action on the ground game. Mike Tolbert very active in that drive. 9 plays, they got some energy going. Settled for a field goal, but got on the board.
Brissett on the counter bootleg. Goes underneath for short yardage. Joey Josefa from Hawaii. What do you think of Jacoby Brissett so far?
Well, I think he's very active. I think he's making good decisions with the ball. If the play's not there, he's taking off running. So as a defender, you got to know that, and you got to have your clock inside saying, look, hey, if a few seconds went by, we got to get my eyes on him and see where he's at, because he is buying time and drawing plays out.
6 of 6 for 60 yards so far. Being pressured, gets rid of it. Foster into Panther territory, first down, New England.
Well, the Panthers dial up a blitz. You see Sanchez at the top of the screen is going to come in, but kind of pulls off a second. And you just wonder, like sometimes when you're able to get a hit on the quarterback, those will add up towards the end of the game and it'll take a toll on a quarterback. So when you have those chances, you got to be able to take them, especially when they're clean like that. You just don't know. If he brings that ball down and holds it for a split second, you need to be there.
Good look at the Panthers 4-3. Foster banged down just outside the 30.
TJ Foster, the ball carrier for New England. Ryan Dallaire on the stop.
Ryan Dallaire, one of many in that defensive line rotation. Kyle Love, there's David Mayo. Ben Jacobs. Next week, Thursday night, Pittsburgh at the Carolina Panthers. Fake run. Brissett sets up to throw. Look long, checked it down to Lucien. And Devin Lucien is out of bounds left side, 12-yard gain. So what's the fourth preseason game like as the sort of survival of the fittest among the 2s and 3s plays itself out?
Well, it's one of these games that you know the starters are probably not going to play. So if I'm a number 2 and a 3, I am going to get an opportunity. I'm going to get a lot of time on the field. I need to separate from the other guys. And there's going to be some situations, especially like in the slot receiver, you know, who's going to be maybe that 5th tackle, who's going to be that 3rd, 4th defensive end. So you can separate yourself in that 4th game.
How many, realistically, on the 53, how many roster spots are undecided at this point?
You know, give or take a cheeseburger, I'm going to say there's 2-3 guys that can possibly tilt the pendulum to their direction. I mean, obviously, you know, we looked at the punt game. I mean, that's a question mark right now in that. And then, you know, that 5th defensive tackle, who's going to be that rotating defensive end spot. So I do believe there's some situations and some positions that are set, but there's going to be some that are up for grabs.
Tyler Gaffney cutting it back.
Handoff goes to Tyler Gaffney.
And knocked down. Clock continuing to run. We're in the 4th. Here's CPI Security System red zone stats. The Carolina Panther defense in the red zone so far this year. Not what Sean McDermott would like to dial up.
No, I mean, in between, you know, out there in the field, you can have good plays, bad plays, but when you get down in that red zone, you have to toughen up. You got to keep him out of the end zone. And I guarantee that's one thing he's going to be looking at after this game.
CPI, the official security, home automation, and security provider of the Carolina Panthers. So the Pats don't make it on 3rd down and medium, and so Gostkowski will come on to attempt the field goal. A 30-yarder. '11th year Memphis. And Gostkowski's had a great career. Chops it through there and good. 5:25 to play, Bank of America Stadium. New England has added 3. They lead the Panthers now by 16. Krispy Kreme Sweet Tweets brought to you by Krispy Kreme. Family night at the Panthers. That's a great tweet, even though the score is not what I'm sure they would want. When the Panthers win, you win. The Monday following Panther victories, a dozen original glaze for just $4.99 at Krispy Kreme. Imagine the promotions that you could get in the office if you bring confections in on Victory Monday. Go down to Kevin Donnelly for another injury update in a second. Knuckling kickoff. Hard to handle. To Kevin Donnelly on the Panther sideline. Who's hurt down there, Kevin?
Well, some of these guys have been coming out. A couple I want to talk about. Trey Turner did come out of the game for a while. He suffered a stinger. I just talked to him. He's going to be all right. He does have the pads off, and he's obviously done for the night. And then Jeremy Cash got dinged up, so he's going through concussion protocol to be on the safe side.
It's Trey Turner, the number 70. Terrific young guard.
You know, he's the one that is the nasty guy that just drives you to the whistle. Had a really good year last year. That offensive line got nicked up just a little bit tonight, and that's one group that comes back that is solid, that you have to have full and whole for this upcoming year.
Wager just got popped right as he took the handoff from Joe Webb. Second down, 15 from the 20. Patriot D tackles widened out a little bit, but linebackers lurking in the gaps. Webb trying to fit it into a little tight window to Demir Bird, incomplete. This season, the Panthers continue to honor former linebacker and Hall of Fame member Sam Mills. So, Hall of Honor member Sam Mills, rather. So here's our keep pounding player of the game. We talked about him earlier, Mike Rucker. It was Devin Funchess.
Well, you can see he was targeted 10 times, so they wanted to see what he could do with the ball. He was open. He caught the ball 5 times, and we saw a highlight package earlier where he was catching balls down at his knees or he was going up high to get them. Just a very good athlete that's starting to come into his own.
Joe Webb in the open field. Angling for a first down, and will have it to the 36.
Well, we talked about Joe Webb this preseason and what he could do in special teams and what he could do in the quarterback pocket, where you see him buy some time, still looking downfield, but look what he does with that athleticism, making the first guy miss and picking up a first down.
Scampered for 16. Webb near side, Sandlin. Incomplete.
Yeah, just another drop, and that's just kind of been the thing tonight. You know, Greg Olson kind of alluded to it earlier. You know, everybody's just not on the same page. I mean, whether the ball's at the numbers or at your knees, that's a catchable ball. And especially a young guy like that, he needs to catch those balls. You don't want coach to be talking about and correcting you on those things.
Well said. Webb lofts a pass near sideline, incomplete of Demir Burrows. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy that also, Rook, that the quarterback takes a quick look at it and thinks, oh, those hands may be a little shaky. Maybe I'll go somewhere else with the ball.
Absolutely. You're fooling yourself if you don't think that they don't know who to go to and who they don't want to go to. And so when you have that opportunity, you got to make the easy catches. Now, the quarterback might put you in a tough spot. Then that's when it's on you to make that athletic catch. And so you want to be that quarterback's go-to guy.
4:24 to go. On 3rd and 10. Webb to Capers. First down. 12-yard gain.
Again, Webb just comfortable in the pocket and just delivers. A nice strike right there. Again, moving the sticks in this drive. They're able to get some first downs, keep the momentum going, and just try to build on that.
Webb threw a fastball in the direction of Miles Schuler through his hands. That was a tough catch, though, for Schuler.
That was a tough catch, and you know you can see him kind of point to himself like, man, I could have got that one.
Schuler, a Northwestern graduate, sociology major, trying to impress. Maybe work his way onto the practice squad. So Webb sees those linebackers mug up. He changes the play. The blitz comes. Joe Webb to the 35-yard line, incomplete. Miles Schuler, the intended receiver. So here's the division, Ruck. Who will the Panthers have to deal with most sternly here?
Well, you know, we had this conversation earlier. You know, I know you kind of think the Bucks, but I think Atlanta is the more well-rounded team out of this group. I think their defense, they've honed in it on the last couple of years of adding some guys. You know, the offense, they've got good running back, Julio Jones. So I think Atlanta Falcons are the team that have always kind of been that rivalry, that battle that will maybe give the best push for the NFC South title.
You know I love you, but Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston, he's lost weight in the offseason. He's taken real command of the offense. They've had musical coaches for a while, but they've settled on Coach Cutter. I think Tampa Bay could be in for a 9-7 type season this year.
And they do have a good defense coming. I think it all is on Winston's shoulders. And how big of a jump is he going to make from his first year? And the reason why I kind of put the pendulum more to the Falcons of being that guy is because they have more of a veteran quarterback. Their Achilles heel, I think, was their defense.
People tweeting in as they watch and listen to our broadcast. Look at that.
I like him. Start him young. I agree with you.
That's a future PSL owner right there. 3rd down and 10 at the 3:40 mark. Webb out of the backfield to Schuler. Gets to the corner, stays on his feet, and he's out of bounds. Miles Schuler.
This was a good play by both quarterback and receiver. Joe Webb bought himself some time. The Patriots definitely bring the blitz, and he just buying time and was able to get the ball into Schuler's hand, and he was able to make a guy miss. And once again, another 1st down in this drive.
Joe Webb, underrated Carolina Panther. Stand out on special teams. Can come in out of the bullpen for you and play quarterback as well. Good push there by the offensive line, brutally moving the Patriots back.
You know, so far this is a good-looking drive. You'll see the push by this offensive line. Just a little draw play, hat on a hat. It gets muddied up in there, but that's when you'll see those offensive linemen just start pushing the pile forward.
Saw David Yankee in there pushing, number 61. There's Joe Webb. Webb rides the ball into Wager's midsection, gives it to him, and then Webb departs the play to block.
You don't see that very often. I mean, you might have seen that back in the old Big 8 or the Big 12, but you just don't see athletic quarterbacks, especially your number 3 quarterback, that's willing to mix it up and put his body in harm's way for a block for your running back.
Snappy little drive here for the Carolina Panthers. 11 plays, 57 yards, over 3 minutes. Webb from a well-formed pocket, looking end zone. Did Schuler hang on to it? Yes, he did. Touchdown.
Like you said, Mick, this was a good-looking drive. And these two combo, Joe Webb and Schuler, connected many times on this drive, but nothing better than this final drive right here to set yourself up for the touchdown. You know, Schuler might not be the tallest, biggest wide receiver on this roster, but he makes up for it in his quicks and his speed, just outrunning the defender with a nice catch in the back of the end zone.
I hate to be the one, but was it a catch?
Well, you see that they're going to review it, as they do all scoring touchdowns.
You had a cardboard cutout of Coach Rivera for this game on the side. The expression has not changed at all. Here's a look at Schuler. Does he control this and get one? I don't think the second foot gets down.
Yeah, this was going to be tough, and you're right, Mick. Nice ball right on the spot, but that extra little juggle that he has to concentrate on might not have allowed that left foot to get inside. See, the ball's still moving one, and then that left foot was out of bounds, and that might be the one where they get him on.
I think so.
Well, you got, if anything, you got to give him A for effort in the drive and in the connection.
Just goes to show you how thin the margins are in the NFL. Receivers are never very open, and you rarely have a chance to re-catch the ball.
Yeah. I mean, see, so that little bobble right there, he would have had that left and then he would have had the right, but the little bobble makes him take that extra step, and that extra step might have been out of bounds.
Or if he could have dance fevered the left foot in and done the little toe drag.
And that's something Ricky Pro will say, well, look, you got long strides right here. This is where you'll see receivers work that on the sidelines. We also got to work those at the back of the end zone also.
Yeah, a little chop step right there would have done it. Great pictures by our camera crew. Split screen there with Bill Belichick. Belichick, by the way, has 223 career wins. Tom Brady has won 194 games, so that tandem there has been lethal.
Yeah, that's a strong tandem.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not have complete control and 2 feet down in the end zone. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, you appreciate they took the time to look at, they make the right call. And if you're the Panther offensive crew, you just go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, rack it up and run that same play again.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Feel for Miles Schuler, though. Shoe, they call him, and
Second down and 10 of the 18.
he loved to get targeted again. 2:14 remaining. Capers helping Schuler get situated. So here we go. Incomplete. Avius Capers the intended receiver. So now it's third down.
And I like these plays. I mean, you're around the 17-yard line. You've got the room to run some routes that are a little bit longer. You see Joe Webb lofted up for letting the receiver run underneath it. But I like the play call and trying to go to the end zone and work that red zone route.
Twins left and right, one back. Timeout, New England.
30-second timeout.
Ruck, you've done a great job tonight. You've actually made some of these drop passes and dropped interceptions. Sound like pretty good football play. I'm proud of the work you put in.
You can always find some things that have been done really well. Now, unfortunately, you know if a guy drops the ball, but that's not going to take away from maybe some of those other guys that have really ran that good route or had some good blocking protection. And I think that there is some positive things that you can take away from tonight, even though the scoreboard might not show that. I think the offensive line has done a great job tonight in pass protection and giving the QB some time.
Here's one positive right here, the Subway foot-long play of the game.
Well, you see right here, Thomas Davis. This is just a hustle play right here, coming off the blitz, showing his speed.
And there's a touchdown left corner of the end zone to Marcus Lucas. 18 yards, and the Panthers have a touchdown tonight.
Well, we talked about it, Mick. Mike Shula continuing to draw up the passes that far out. And Joe Webb is able to connect with Marcus Lucas by the left pylon. Lucas was a wide receiver in college and converted to tight end, put some weight on, runs a good route and a nice touchdown.
So Carolina will go for 2. Capers the motion man. A running play. Scoot Simmons for 2 points.
And it's interesting. We talked to Coach Rivera this week and we asked him what were some things that he would like to see. And he said he'd like to see his offense in 2 minutes. And he said he would like to see maybe some type of 2-point conversion, some things that you normally wouldn't see so they can work on some of those things.
That's a hard play for a running back too, because you got to bake that cake from scratch.
Yes,
you don't have a head of steam up.
You don't. And, they're going to look and review this play too to see if the knee wasn't down before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look.
And you'll see the running play right here. Hits the hold hard. But you look at that right knee right there, and look where the tip of the ball is.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 inches off. We talked about this, a game of inches. Might be a little bit short right here.
About the length of a Subway 6-inch sub from being a 2-point conversion.
And we'll get another look. Right here you can see there's the goal line. Look at his right knee. It's down, and then look where the tip of the ball is in his left hand. He's about 6 inches.
After reviewing the try for point, the runner's knee was down, the ball was short of the goal line. It is not a good try.
Another good call. They go to the replay booth. So close on the touchdown earlier. They were able to get Marcus Lucas in the end zone and then just fall 6 inches short on the 2-point conversion. But you got to think of this regular season, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert, you got to think that they're dragging 3 guys with them for that 6 inches.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. So we're just outside the 2-minute warning. Thomas Davis with an arm around. There's a smile from Coach Rivera. High short kickoff. Devlin. Fair catches it.
And completed.
Interesting to see what Coach Rivera, how he frames this game with his club and gets them ready for the trip to Denver.
You know, I think he does a good job of being stern and firm, and he knows when to back off. And I think him being a player, I think really helps him with that. But he really does a good job of keeping everything in perspective and not, you know, going overboard.
Brissett, handed the ball off to Joseph, and he was just calf roped down by Blecken. That was good tackling right there. As you look at it, a local break. Back with more football after this word from your local Panther station. Some of the Panther O-line huddling up, breaking down this game. 1:55 to go. Mick Mixon, Mike Rucker upstairs, Kevin Donnelly down on the field. Rucker, we're talking about Coach Ron Rivera and the gift he has knowing what players need an arm around their neck at times and what players need some more stern motivational talk.
Yeah, he does a good job with that, and I think this team responds to that.
Number 71, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
He's not a guy that has to go screaming every 5 minutes. He gets his guys to respond, and these guys want to play for their coach, and I think that's half the battle. You buy into what he tells you. And I mean, these guys know, and they're probably disappointed in some of the play, but at the end of the day, you got to learn from this, and you got to move on and be ready for next week and be ready for week 1.
Thursday night trip to Denver. Right flat, completed pass to the reserve fullback and /tight end Bryce Williams from East Carolina. Williams, 6'6", a rookie, free agent.
30-second timeout. Please set the game clock to 1:48.
Glad for some of the fans in Eastern North Carolina that Bryce Williams got a chance to make a catch. So it's been a mistake game tonight, Ruck. This is the way football is, but how concerning are some of these miscues?
I'm not going to lose sleep over any of these things. I mean, you know, this is a good defense that you're playing against, so obviously they created some of the turnovers themselves, and these things are going to happen. I think that you go back tomorrow, you look at the tape, I think there's some missed opportunities on both sides of the ball because there was 2 interceptions by the defense that they dropped that could have easily have been in our favor, in the Panthers' favor. So I'm not too worried as long as they get cleaned up, and there's nothing that is going to scream to me that says we got to throw the towel in right now.
Joey Joseph tracked by David Mayo, filled the gap beautifully.
But you see the coaching staff still working this 2 minutes. I mean, obviously they called 2 timeouts. They want to get the offense back the ball. This is preseason for the coaches too, and they're working what they normally would do in a regular season game also.
Great point. And you know, Patriots didn't fly all the way down here just to not have both these two teams get the maximum amount of rehearsal against one another. Get a look at Jameer Byrd. Returning possibly this Ryan Allen punt. It's away. And out of bounds. Jameer Byrd's got potential though. Fast receiver, good on special teams.
You know, they really want to see what he can do in the punt game and the kickoff game. And first couple preseason game was very active, made some nice plays. So that was another opportunity why I think they wanted to see what he could do back there, because he's also playing the slot receiver spot too. Again, that's one of those positions that's up for grabs. And kind of got a log jam there with some of those slot receivers.
Joe Webb will call the play, put his mouthpiece in. Minute 34 to go. Webb to Bird. You give Webb that beautiful V-like pocket. Let him see the route tree. He'll deliver the football.
I mean, I can't say it enough, Mick, about the protection that the offensive line has given these quarterbacks to have the time to throw a route to Bird like that. Again, we talked about Bird being in special teams, but this is also what he's been doing this preseason. He's been catching the ball also.
It's a beautiful thing, that pocket when the integrity is preserved throughout the play. Kearis Garrett bobbled it, re-caught it, but I think was out of bounds. And he was.
You know, just working the sideline, trying to use the clock. Just comes up a little bit short, out of bounds, but a good grab by Garrett.
On second down from just in Patriot territory. Webb knows he's got a safety lurking midfield, so he goes to Schuler on a square out to the right, incomplete.
He almost made a crazy catch. The ball was bouncing around, almost reached around his back and grabbed that.
Third down and 10. Webb got hit hard right as he threw. So it is fourth down.
You know, Joe Webb hasn't been touched. His jersey's been pretty clean tonight. Takes a hit right there, pretty low down around those knees. That's one of the things that, from a safety perspective, that they've been watching the last few years.
Chop blocks are illegal this year everywhere on the football field. Joe Webb on fourth down to Kearis Garrett. Complete inside the 15.
Well, this time Garrett stayed in bounds. It was inbounds. Holland in this play and just got a nice long stride and then just lays out for it. I'll tell you what, they're going to make it real hard on the wide receivers coach Ricky Prohl when it comes cut counting, who he's going to keep.
That was a 34-yard throw and catch. Capers. Ball through his hands up high. NFL quarterbacks throw a heavy ball. Sitting in the stands or maybe watching at home, you think, oh man, anybody could have caught that, but it's not that easy at times.
Well, I tell you what, when you watch pregame warm-ups, you'll see Ricky Prohl, who just showed right there, the wide receivers coach. He's a technician, but he throws a hard ball, and he gets those guys ready. So, I mean, when you look at Cam and sometimes the way he launches that ball, you better have some good hands.
Webb zips it, end zone, it's caught for a score. Marcus Lucas again.
Again, Marcus Lucas used to be a wide receiver, so you know he could catch the ball, put on some size. He's been the go-to guy down here in the red zone. Joe Webb looks him off, comes right back to a second. And Marcus Lucas hauls in the touchdown.
And good quarterbacking by Joe Webb as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Joe Webb has had a couple good drives here in the fourth quarter.
So, to make it a 2-point game, this two-point try. Webb sprints right. Schuler. Panthers pulled it within 2. Wouldn't that be something? Onside kick.
Nick, you're 6 inches from that other two-point conversion, and you might have been tied up in this thing. Here we see Joe Webb hooking up with Schuler, what she's done the last 2 series.
"27 seconds to go, and the Panthers preparing for an onside kick."
Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. By Pepsi, official soft drink partner of the Panthers and all for the Carolinas. By Bojangles, your official tailgating headquarters and iced tea of the Carolina Panthers. It's Bo time. And by Miller Lite. As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Top Cats are top catting. The fans are cheering. Got to admire the pluck that the Panthers have showed in this game, Ruck, even though it's some 2s and 3s out there battling.
Yeah, everybody out there still wants to win, regardless if it's good or bad, and so you can see them still fighting. I think the coaching staff has got themselves in some situations. They're on film, and I guarantee that they love that they have an onside kick situation in the preseason.
Good chance to work on it. And a timeout, New England.
Timeout, New England. Third and final team timeout, 30-second timeout.
Yeah, they just wanted to kind of see what kind of formation Carolina was going to come out in and maybe coach some of their guys up on what Carolina wants to do here.
Thursday night, quick turnaround. Panthers hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. There'll be a ton of Panther fans here, we know, and a few Steeler fans as well, because they migrate down here from Pittsburgh.
They do. They travel well, and been playing the Steelers week 4 for a long time.
Mr. Richardson, a close relationship with the Rooney family and the Steelers. So the ball has to go 10 yards. Gano will want to. There are different ways to play this. You can stub it into the ground and then hope for that big second hop, that candy hop. There's the big hop, but he is squirted out of bounds.
Yeah, you'd like to see
out out of bounds, ball in place if it's out of bounds. First down.
You'd like to see that ball go more vertical. It had some heat on it, so it was kind of blazing towards the sideline. You want that ball to kind of go vertical up high so your guys can run underneath it and get a shot at it. But again, you're going to have that on tape, special teams meeting. They're going to be able to go over that and kind of coach that up. You don't get to see that a lot, especially in the preseason. So it's a great opportunity for them to get some film.
So now New England can just sit on this and probably just one more play, the old victory formation. And that'll be that. So Brissett takes a knee, and the New England Patriots have defeated the Carolina Panthers by a 19-17 final score. There were bright spots for the Panthers. There were also areas for potential growth for Cam Newton and his teammates. Luke Kuechly getting some of his best work since the labral tear was repaired in the offseason. We're going to take a break, but we'll have some post-game coverage for you right after these messages with the final score from Bank of America, New England 19 and the Panthers 17.